Thanks for checking out this week's episode of the Baseball Together podcast, Baseball Family. This week we have Jeffrey Luhnow suing the Astros, some more awards, and then we're going to get into some strange 2020 rules and decide what should stay and what should go. That starts right now.
9+Us presents the Baseball Together podcast with your hosts, Blackjack Brad and Kansas City Little Big Briggy Blue Eyes. And now, Baseball Together.
Welcome to this week's episode of the Baseball Together podcast, Baseball Family. I am Brad, and as always, I am joined by our guy, Kansas City Little Big Briggy Blue Eyes.
What's up, Baseball Family?
Got it on one take. Never happens.
Yes, you did. You nailed it.
Never happens.
I'm so excited. I'm still excited.
I'm excited. Like I said, it never happens. Never get on the first take. But we have a bunch of stuff this week. Like I said, let's start with this. Start with this very first one. Jeffrey Luhnow, the former GM, also disgraced former GM of the Houston Astros. Yes. He's suing the Astros, suing Jim Crane, the owner, and the Astros for breach of contract because he says that they fired him without cause. Before we get too deep into this,
you know what I think of this? Is that what you asked?
I want to know what you think of it.
Oh, I think Texas is an at-will employment state. And as long as it doesn't violate the law, you're allowed to be fired for any reason.
There it is.
Sorry, Jeff.
That will not go far.
I don't know anything about the case. I don't know what the grounds would be. I don't know what argument they're presenting, really, other than I know that.
That's so funny. That was the best argument. Basically just put the whole thing in the ground, dead. I mean, it's at-will state. That's so funny.
That's what I had to look up. I was like, wait a minute.
That's too funny. But yeah, I mean, his argument is that he didn't know anything about it, that the previously negotiated punishment for sign stealing using the system, like the specific system and tools that the Astros did, was suspend the manager, suspend the GM, both for 1 year. He got that suspension, and then his argument was that that is a negotiated punishment. Basically that instead of taking away the World Series, suspending a bunch of players, and bringing down his further, I'm going to use fury in quotations because we've seen that Rob Manfred has no fury on the Astros, he would fire, that Jim Crane would fire Luhnow and manager at the time, A.J. Hinch. Mm-hmm. But as it turns out, Jeffrey Luhnow has no case. Thank you, Brig.
You're welcome. I mean, he might, but he's just going to tie up legal fees.
Yeah. It's just going to cost him a bunch of money. That's funny. I didn't even think about that. Thank you for bringing that to the table. Let's move on, shall we?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So we had this week. First off, Brig, I want to know, did you know that they were announcing the Gold Glove Award winners last week?
No.
Me neither. I had no idea. It's like everything came down on my phone, like these are the Gold Glove finalists, like, or Gold Glove Award winners. Like, oh, cool, the finalists. Like, there's two Mariners in the finalists. That's awesome.
That's what I thought.
Because I had no clue, absolutely no clue that they were announcing this, and it wasn't just finalists. They were the winners. These guys are the winners. Like, they could not have kept it a better secret that this was happening and happening on the day that it did. I'm still so shocked. Yeah. I don't even remember what day it was last week. Might have been like, what, Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that?
It definitely happened, but that's all I know. November 3rd? What was that?
Yeah, so that would have been Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
But so was there anybody on this list, Brig, who surprised you, who you were happy to see on the list, anything like that?
I was happy to see Anthony Rizzo on the list. I wouldn't say it was surprising because I'm a big Rizzo fan, but I was really glad to see him on the list because I'm a big Rizzo fan. I don't know what else. I'm not surprised by Javier Baez and Arenado and, like a bunch of these are really their mainstays at this point, but
Right.
Yeah. What do you think? Does
For
somebody
me,
surprise you?
honestly, I was a little bit surprised to see Evan White of the Mariners, first baseman.
Yeah.
Because as a Mariners fan, I've been told for the last 2 or 3 years about Evan White that he is a Gold Glove first baseman. He has Gold Glove potential, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Maybe in 2 or 3 years he'll get some recognition and gain some traction in the league, and he'll win a Gold Glove. No, in his rookie season, his first season seeing any big league action, he won a Gold Glove. Like
right.
that was the exact scouting report on the guy coming up through the minor leagues, that he was gonna win a Gold Glove, and he did it in his rookie season.
That's
Absolutely amazing to me.
Yeah, that's really
So,
cool.
I was really fired up about that for him because he really struggled at the plate this year. He had his moments where he did really well, but man, defensively he was as solid as they come.
Yeah.
There was nothing thrown from anybody in the infield that if it was within his reach, it wasn't getting by him. So he's awesome. I'm excited about that. Also, J.P. Crawford for the Mariners. He's in his second or third year.
Yeah.
Second year with the Mariners. I don't remember if he saw any time. I think he came over from St. Louis. But I was actually only kind of surprised, just because kind of the same reason that he's really young and he's in Seattle. So I wasn't sure how many people actually saw him and paid attention to what he does. Other than that one play.
I didn't at all.
Other than that one play from 2019 where he was on his back and threw somebody out at first base from shortstop,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But I don't think
you're
that
the only
alone
one that knows
won him
about that, though.
It's the one, Brig, you'd know it if you saw it. It leads off every
one.
highlight play from 2019. Yeah. I'm not even kidding you.
No,
because it was the play of the year. It was amazing.
I know which one you're talking about.
But I think I might be the only one who knows anything after that, anything that's happened since then.
Yeah, that's true. Well, he was on his back. We don't know who it was. We just saw that. Oh yeah, that one. Up front.
Yeah, that guy.
Shortstop on his back. Yeah, I know about that.
Yeah, pretty much.
What did you think of Mookie Betts? Why? What is up with that?
Mookie Betts? What do you mean?
How?
I would expect him to win a Gold Glove. What are you talking about?
Just tell us your opinion, Brad.
I expect Mookie Betts to win a Gold Glove. If he doesn't win one, I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
right.
the guy who should win that.
They should just call it the Mookie Betts Award.
I don't know if I go that far, but
yeah, you're right.
But it's kind of remember in the 90s. I mean, every year it seemed like I just assumed that Ken Griffey Jr. won a Gold Glove every year. I just assumed that it was okay, we got to give one to Griffey, and then we got two other outfielders we got to give it to in the AL.
Yeah, that's right.
That's kind of how I am with Mookie Betts. That he's out there doing his thing. And just expect him to get one. But we did have the Platinum Glove winners. So they give out the Platinum Glove in the AL and the NL. It's the best defensive player. And we had Nolan Arenado and Alex Gordon. I always call him Aaron Gordon from the NBA because I don't pay much attention to Kansas City.
Yeah.
But Alex Gordon got it in the American League. And I was actually a little bit surprised by that. It almost felt like a Lifetime Achievement Award to me.
Ooh.
But again, I don't watch enough of the Royals to know.
Right.
Maybe there was somebody else in the AL that could have got it. I mean, offhand, I don't know exactly who. I probably would have given it to J.P. Crawford strictly out of bias.
Yeah, and I would have done the same with DJ LeMahieu just out of bias.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Cubs fans would have given it to Javier Baez out of bias too. That's.
Yeah,
that's easy.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if you can give it to Baez over Arenado, to be honest.
Well,
because even if you're going most highlight plays, it's probably going to still go to Arenado.
Yeah, you're probably right. But that's a tough pill to swallow.
It is. That's tough because Baez is one of my favorite guys in the league to watch.
Me too.
But also, I love watching Arenado play. So.
Yep, I do too.
But
well, they did announce the Silver Sluggers as well, though, right?
They did. They did announce the Silver Sluggers.
Did you see that one coming
with
either?
it. Well,
Was it the
kind
same for
of.
you?
Only because the Gold Gloves came, I was like, oh, Silver Sluggers should be coming soon then.
That's right.
I don't know who's up for them,
Yeah.
but it's coming soon.
Yeah.
So, I don't feel like I was really too surprised by anybody there. I mean, you would expect DJ LeMahieu to win that one.
Yeah.
Tim Anderson, I was happy for him. I like to see guys like that actually win awards because he's not just like exciting to watch. He's actually legitimately very good.
Yeah. I agree.
You know. So I was happy for him to get that. Fernando Tatis Jr. and Manny Machado, I expected both of those guys to get it, partially because of their positions, but also partially because they are so good.
Yeah.
Like, both of those guys you expect to do something, stepping up to the plate. Was there anybody you were, I don't know, surprised or happy to see on there?
Well, I was actually really excited to see, and I don't know how to pronounce his first name, Teoscar Hernandez. It's his first award in Toronto, and he's hit 16 homers in 50 games. It's really great. His OPS 919. So, I just like to see this young Blue Jays team getting some love, and that made me really happy. So that's it. That's the one that I was really excited about. I couldn't believe how many of the Braves were on this list, though. I think I counted 3 or 4 at least.
That's actually where I was headed next. Is Marcell Ozuna won it for the DH for the National League?
Yeah, he did.
So I think that's something we'll actually get into later.
Oh,
the DH and the NL.
Oh.
But that's a tease. But no, I like Marcell Ozuna a lot, and for him to have the ability to DH in the National League, I thought was really good for him, and he was a monster. I mean, I saw in their series against the Reds, the wild card series against the Reds, that going into that series, like in the regular season, he had like 450 against fastballs this year. Like, that's unreal. Absolutely unreal. So, good for those guys.
Yeah.
Good
No, I
for
think
those guys.
It's awesome. And then today they announced Rookies of the Year.
Yeah. Yes, they did today.
I'm wearing my
very
42
excited.
hat in honor of the Jackie Robinson Rookie of the Year award.
Nice. Nice. So, I want to start with this. I could not be happier that Kyle Lewis, unanimous American League Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
I am honestly a little bit surprised that it was unanimous.
Yeah.
Just because there were, like we said, Luis Robert and with the White Sox, very good, great year.
Oh yeah.
But
for
man,
sure.
I'm infatuated with Kyle Lewis. I'm just like man crushing over here. I can't. I cannot express the love that I have
Oh my god.
for what he brings to the Seattle Mariners. It just makes me so happy. I'm so happy that he was recognized for it too.
Well, he deserved
Absolutely.
it. He did.
He did. Well, it's like I said, he hit like 550 for the first like 3 weeks of the season, and then he finally got down below 500. We're like, okay, he's not gonna hit 500 for 60 games, but
He's mortal. It's fine. It's a little disappointing, but it's okay,
Exactly.
I guess.
yeah. But I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it all, and I'm very happy with it.
Must have been.
But there was a National League Rookie of the Year.
Well,
as
hold
well.
on. It must have been a makeup
By the
call
way.
for the one guy that didn't vote for Griffey. Just decided to.
Well, you know, they can't ever make up for that.
They tried.
They'll never be able to make up for that. They did try, but they'll never be able to make up for that. Somebody was just like, no. No. Unreal. Absolutely unreal to me. I don't understand.
Yeah. Sorry.
But
Anyway,
whatever.
The American League.
Anyway, that's fine. National League Rookie of the Year was Devin Williams, a reliever with the Brewers. Now, Brig, this kind of goes back to our conversation we had about a pitcher winning the MVP.
Yep.
This is the kind of the equivalent to that conversation of not just a pitcher but a reliever winning the Rookie of the Year.
Right.
How do you feel about that? I want to know.
I really, really like it. I really like it. I think that if you're the best in your class, you should be recognized as the best in your class. And you should be recognized as the best for the thing you do, not weighted, on this sliding scale of, well, third basemen do more than relievers do or whatever. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So if you can take it and proportion it out properly, then yeah, if he's the best in his class at what he's doing at this position he's been assigned, then they do deserve it, I think.
I totally agree with you. And yes, he only threw 27 innings out of 60 games. But if he's coming in at the chances that he's given, especially as a reliever, and I mean, he had a 1.2 WAR.
Yeah, wow.
Okay, 0.33 ERA, which is 1 earned run and 8 hits during those 27 innings.
Wow.
Like, that's unreal.
That's unreal.
Especially with what we saw with relief pitchers this year. Like, he is way better than anybody in his class at his position right now.
Yep.
Forget rookies, veterans, whatever. Nobody did that this year.
That's right. I was just going to say that. It doesn't matter how experienced you are. And
like,
it doesn't matter what team you're on. Because
375 is basically what that is.
What?
What was that?
It said the Brew Crew did great this year, so like they had a respectable season, right? So,
well, I mean, yeah, they made the playoffs, but weren't they under 500?
Well, yeah, but everybody was under 500.
Well,
not everybody, but they weren't the only ones.
The teams that
That's
weren't.
What I mean.
No, I mean, them and the Astros, they got in under 500, which, is whatever.
Yeah.
But no, like the fact that he was pulling his weight the entire way is awesome as a rookie.
Yeah.
That he was obviously ready. He was meant for it. And maybe I don't know if they look at him as a future closer, if they look at him as a setup man, whatever that he is. I mean, he's nails. He's going in there. He's not giving up any runs. He's not even giving up hits.
Not even hits. Yeah. Yep.
So good for him. Happy to see that. All right. One last thing before we go to break. KBO playoffs in full swing.
Yeah.
Okay, they started last week on November 1st, and we had the LG Twins beat the Kiwoom Heroes in the one-game playoff wildcard round, and then the Doosan Bears took it to the LG Twins. Just like, I mean, I know it's weird to say a 2-game sweep.
Yeah,
because it was
it was a shellacking though.
It was a best of 3. Oh yeah, 4-0, 9-7, and that 9-7 game wasn't even that close. Because it was like 8-1. I think they got out to I think it was like 8-1 at one point.
Yeah,
so
that's what I didn't even know
really
it ended
close.
up being 9-7. I turned it. I stopped watching, stopped paying attention. Even in the preview, the replay.
Yeah,
I mean.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, where there's no commercials. But then, so today, actually, Monday, the 9th, November 9th, we had, early morning for us. The Doosan Bears beat the KT Wiz 3-2 and went up 1-0 in a 5-game series, best of 5 series. So the Doosan Bears playing some pretty good ball right now, and something to keep an eye on, at least as far as we go, since we're NC Dinos fans. The winner of this series goes on to play our Dinos.
That's right.
I don't know if I would necessarily want to be playing the Doosan Bears at this point.
Not with this much time off. They're gaining momentum, and we've had time off. That's a problem.
And it is good that it's a best of 7.
Yeah,
it's a best of 7 series.
Yeah, but
with a team like Doosan Bears, who play the NC Dinos very well, they matched up against one another very well this year. I don't know that I'd want to play a team that's basically turned into a buzzsaw when you're coming in from nothing.
Hey,
hey,
Brad.
Yeah.
We should probably stand on our left feet and rub our what do you call them? Rabbit's feet. Put our rally caps on, just in anticipation. Around. Just like get Jobu some rum.
Do we need to spin? Do we spin counterclockwise or clockwise? I can't remember.
No, one of us goes clockwise, the other one goes counterclockwise.
Okay, all right, very good.
And then when we're dizzy, we pour Jobu rum. That's how it goes.
Okay. That sounds perfect. That sounds absolutely perfect. But I don't know about you, Brig. I'm going to be paying very close attention to this series, though.
Yep.
Because I don't necessarily want the Tucson Bears going to the Korean series against my Dinos.
No, I don't either.
So, but we'll have another update on that next week. For now, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back with me. Root, root, root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Shop kids' baseball shirts at 9pluss.com.
Welcome back, baseball family. Before we go today, whenever you're listening to this, we are going to talk about the rules that were implemented in 2020, and we're going to bat them around a little bit. We want to know what we liked, what we didn't like, what we would change, what we would keep, any new ideas. Brad told me he has a new idea. I don't know anything about it. That's a tease. So anyway, Brad.
Yeah.
Brad?
Yeah.
Brad. Let's start with the runner on second in extra innings.
All right. So
my question to you is, do you care? And if so, in what direction?
Okay.
For or against?
I do feel like this is actually a pretty nuanced thing here. Okay. I don't, just to be clear, first off, I don't like it. I don't like starting an inning with a runner on because it's like I said way back when they proposed this rule, that it feels like I missed something. It feels like I missed a double in the gap or something, or whatever. That's why I don't like it. I don't like the feel of it. However, the one thing I do like is that it encourages small ball and extra innings. Rather than just having a guy go up there and be like, I'm going to hit this jack and this game is going to be over. Bunt down the first base line, move him over to third. 1 out, runner on third. Then you go for either a sac fly or a base hit, bring him to score. Game over. So it really encourages that. We didn't see it, which was strange to me, especially in the shortened season, that, you'd think teams would be resorting back to the basics to win games because you got to win every one that you can. I was really disappointed that it didn't actually come to fruition, but I do feel like it encourages it. That it encourages a different approach to hitting than just going up there with nobody on.
Huh.
So that is like the thing that I like about it. And I know Rob Manfred is a big fan of it. He loves the rule. He's like, I want it to be here forever and ever. And my thing is, if you're going to keep it, maybe don't start in the 10th inning. Maybe start in the 12th.
Right, the 13th.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Don't start right away. Let play continue as normal for a couple innings, and then it's kind of like, okay, kind of like in college football, if neither team scores, I think on like 2 tries in their overtime tiebreaker thing, then they can't just kick the PAT. They have to go for 2. I feel like it kind of can have that kind of feel to it. Like, okay, let's raise the stakes here a little bit, and we'll put a runner on second to start. So, I don't know. I feel like it can be used, just not necessarily the way that it has been. But that's just me. What about you, Brick? What do you think about it?
So to me, it feels like starting an at bat with a strike. Right. It's that disruptive to my brain.
Yeah.
And I know it sounds kind of petty, but it feels that way. It's like, what is happening? Why? Just like you said, I missed something. I just in my brain it happens a different way, but yeah, it does. It feels like you're starting every at bat with, you only have 2 strikes instead of 3,
or even a pitcher with a ball.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And it's just, I don't know. I don't like it. And I don't like it for every reason you said. Does it encourage small ball? Yes, but I don't think it encourages small ball enough, because guys are still going to get up there and try and go for launch angle.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way it's going anyway, and they would rather win with a 2-run walk-off than a 1-run walk-off. I mean, if you're talking about, like, it doesn't matter.
Well,
right?
it pads your stats,
it
right?
It doesn't matter.
At a home run, 4 total bases, 2 RBIs instead of just 1.
And that's it. Yeah. Right, but as far as, like, team, like, the victory, it doesn't matter. So yeah, I don't know. I think starting it in the 12th is a little early. I think 13 beyond makes sense though. Like, if you're going to keep it. I also agree with you that that it can be nuanced, and it should be handled with some finesse. I just think we should err on the side of what baseball has been traditionally, and starting to implement that too early, like as early as 10, is absurd. It's ludicrous. I would rather it be closer to 15 than closer to 10.
Yeah, and I could see that, because everything is still relatively normal. You get into 12, 13 innings, and then by the time you're getting to 14, 15, that's when it's kind of like, okay, somebody, come on now.
Okay, let's be done. Well, even the umpires start changing the strike zone, and they start calling things a little differently, just because it's time to be done.
Yeah, exactly. Umpires want to go home. I remember one time, I think I was in high school, it was a City League game, and we got started late because of rain, like really late, like an hour and a half late because of rain. Game ended at like 11:30. The umpire, first off, was like ready to go, with like 2 innings left. And you could tell. And then, seriously, game over. We are all in the dugout getting our stuff together, and the whole field goes black. He turned off the lights and pieced right out at a high school City League game. And we were like, we can't see anything. One of the guys, his dad was going up and down the dugout with his lighter. Everybody got anything? Everybody got everything? Because this was before the day of smartphones with flashlights,
Yeah,
make sure you get your stuff. We're like,
he's got his lighter.
I can't see a thing. But, yeah,
so awesome.
So that's a real thing. Umpires want to go home, and I mean, you see it. You definitely see it. But
yeah, so that's what I was thinking. I think closer to 15 makes more sense than closer to 10.
Yeah,
but
and I could get behind that.
What do you think about the 3-batter minimum for pitchers?
Oh man.
The relief pitchers specifically.
We saw some guys getting some pickles this year. Like, especially in the playoffs, you saw guys where, there was kind of a rally going. Everybody's hitting. They bring in a reliever. And the rally just keeps going. He can't stop it. And it's like, okay, like, you want to bring in somebody to get your ideal matchup and stop this thing, but you can't.
Yeah, you can't.
And I don't like it. I don't like the 3-batter minimum at all, because it brings insult to injury for a team that might already be struggling and needs some kind of change. That, like, you got pitchers who are strictly situational, so pitchers who come in to get 1 or 2 outs in a game, and it does force guys to be better, to be able to get through 3 batters or end the inning. But at the same time, the manager has to have the flexibility. The players have to have the flexibility. And I understand the players are mentally tough enough to be able to deal with it, but physically, maybe they're just not able to deal with it that day. Not able to get out.
Right.
I don't like the rigidity of it. I don't like managers and players having to deal with that kind of rigidity. I don't like it at all. Get rid of it. That should go away forever. What about you? What do you think?
I think it has the ability to improve pitching. over the next, I don't know, 15 years.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, I think it'll take 8 minimum to 10 maybe before we'll start to see like holistic systemic improvement that they're hoping it will, affect. I mean, some guys will they'll adapt earlier, and some guys will take way too long. But I think that to really see it league wide and for it to be beneficial in this sort of ideal way everybody's hoping it will, it's going to take at least 8 years for that to turn around. So I don't like that argument. I see that, they're probably not wrong. We just have to look at it in the context that it's appropriate. The other thing is that I wonder how many teams didn't make the playoffs or didn't do as well because they weren't able to, they didn't have the full playbook at their disposal. Yeah. Right? Like if you can't utilize your very best tool for a particular job, then you're still carrying that tool around, and it's like somebody's like, nope, you can't use that one. Well, why? Right? I'm in a situation, I have this task that needs to be accomplished. Here's the tool that I have for this very specific thing. And it's a one size fits one situation tool, like you're saying. So, I don't know. It bugs me for a lot of reasons, and you've listed all of the same reasons it bugs me. But it just, for me, there's a protracted impact that we probably will never be able to measure effectively.
Yeah.
And to be able to say, okay, in all of these little teeny macro or these little micro situations, what was the long-term impact? We will never know, but I think it's something that should be discussed and thought about at a much higher level.
Yeah. Yeah. It's strange, and really to me, like, it feels like it's strictly just to speed up the game. Like that's what it feels like to me. Like I understand making pitchers better eventually, but it's like we don't want to be changing 3 pitchers for 3 batters. So go out there and face 3 yourself and get through it if you can. To me, it's strictly
but
Rob
if they're
Manfred
getting rained on.
Yeah, no, I know, but like to me, it's strictly Rob Manfred saying people are complaining about the length of the games. Let's do this thing to speed it up.
Yeah,
that.
But if the guy's getting rained on, it doesn't speed up the game.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. It makes it longer.
It goes the opposite direction. Yeah. Yes, so it's stupid.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about how stupid this is anymore. How about what did you think of 7-inning doubleheaders? We saw plenty of them.
We did, and
this season. And what did you think?
And I actually listened to plenty of them this year because the Mariners had to play a few of them.
Yeah.
And I was caught off guard every single time. Every time that it was like, you get to the 5th inning and they're like, now remember, it's a doubleheader, so we're only playing 7 innings today. It's like, oh shoot. And it kind of worked out in their favor a couple times where it's like, oh, you got a 1-run lead going into the top of the 7th inning. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like there's any finality. It feels like the game just ends and you are really missing those last 2 innings. Baseball is a game of 3s, right? That you've got 9 players out on the field. You've got 3 outs, a 9-man batting lineup or batting order, 9 innings, 27 outs,
strikes.
Right? But when you go 7 innings, 21 outs, that's still 3, but it's not the even 3 of 27 and 9. Like you can go through in a perfect game, you go through your batting order 2 1/3 times. Everybody should get a chance to bat 3 times. And I understand. Typically, everybody's getting to bat 3 times in a 7-inning game. I know. But it should work mathematically and automatically to be able to work out that way that everybody gets a chance. Your 9-hole hitter is like in some cases just as important as your 3 or 4. He has a different role.
Right. 4 for sure. Yeah.
He has a different role, but you need that bat still. You're not putting a guy down in 7, 8, 9, but like, well, it's fine. He's not going to get to hit anyway today, so it's no big deal, you know. So that's really the thing that I don't like about it is that it doesn't have that even triplet feel. It doesn't have an actual finality. It just kind of ends. It's like, okay, well, in 30 minutes we're going to start game 2. Well, geez, you know, in 2 minutes you should be starting the 8th inning. So, yeah, I don't. I don't like the. I don't like the 7. I don't like the 7-inning rule. Like it's kind of nice to get through 2 games in one day really fast, but it feels weird too. It makes me feel kind of dirty. I'll be honest.
Yeah, dirty is exactly right. For me, it's counterfeit, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's a facsimile of what it should be, and I agree with you. It is nice to be able to jump through 2 games in a short period of time, and in the situation we were in this season, it was warranted, and that's fine. But if we can avoid 7-inning doubleheaders, that'd be great. I also think holistically we have to think about statistics. We have to think about what that does to players' careers and their earning potential and things like that as well. Because when you go back to negotiate a contract, other than this one season, nobody's going to remember that you only had, these limited opportunities. They're just all they're going to look at is what's on paper.
Yeah, and you get to the point where it's like, and I know the same, like teams play odd, like weird numbered doubleheaders every year because of rainouts and stuff. But the fact that there were teams that
it's not uncommon.
There were teams that were either A, cheated out of an opportunity to come back in the 8th and 9th inning, or B, teams that escaped with a win because they didn't have to play the 8th and 9th inning.
Yep.
So, and that was 2 games in a day that those went one or both ways. So,
yeah,
I don't like it. Counterfeit, I think, is the perfect way to describe it. It's a formality of playing the game without actually having to go through all the motions of playing it. So.
Yep, that's exactly right.
So yeah, don't like it. Don't like it at all.
It's too bad. It's really practical.
It is, and they've been doing it in minor leagues for years. Been doing it in the minor leagues for years. And as you know, I will say this: when I was with the Orioles and we had a couple doubleheaders, they were 7 innings. It was really nice to get home a little bit early after the game.
That's right.
I'm hoping that when it comes down to deciding on this, if this is something they end up just like trying to keep or not, that Rob Manfred does not listen to A, the media, because the media I'm sure loves this rule, or B, too many team employees, that he really gets the pulse of the fan base, which I don't know why I'm expecting him to do this now, because he never does, of people saying we don't like 7-inning games. Don't like it at all. Especially if I'm going to a game, I don't want to sit through a 7-inning game if I'm paying for it. I want at least 9. So that's how I feel.
Tell me about your idea. You said you had an idea.
Okay, so this year they had expanded dugouts and bullpens, so the players could socially distance. Like they had, we saw canopies put up in the stands, and players sitting up in the stands, pitchers sitting, down the lines, whatever. For the bullpens, and they called those expanded dugouts and bullpens. Now, I'm wondering, Brig, is this something we could see permanently? Because if social distancing just becomes like the social norm, it just becomes the way things are from now until whoever knows when, right. And also with expanded rosters, which we'll get to. Those dugouts and bullpens might need to be a little bit bigger. Now, we see teams moving fences in and out all the time. The Red Sox made the Green Monster a little bit taller a few years ago. Like, did some construction, made the Green Monster a little bit taller. I think they dropped the field down a little bit, I think is what they did. I'm not entirely sure. But anyways.
Well, and in Houston, they cut that berm out, right?
Yeah.
It used to be you had to go up the berm, and now
that safety hazard.
Yep.
And they moved the flagpoles off of it, too. Because there were flagpoles on that berm. It's so weird.
Yeah.
But so they're doing constructions on fields all the time, stadium, everything. So I'm curious if something we could see is the dugouts move, like expanded down the lines a little bit farther, as well as some like physical expansion of bullpens, make them just a little bit bigger, expand the seating area a little bit more, because there's going to be an extra pitcher or two out in the bullpen, so you're going to need a little bit extra room anyway. But and I understand it would take away from fan seating. You know, like there are seats right next to the bullpen. Actually, it's like the camera wells, but then the seats. But they'll have to move all that stuff down anyway. So you're taking away seats. You're taking away probably some of the concourse area in some stadiums for the bullpen. I think at Wrigley they're like under the bleachers or something like that. Is that right?
I don't know.
So
that sounds right, but I don't know.
So you wouldn't necessarily be taking away from anything there, I don't think. But in most places, you would be taking away from like the concourse. I know in Seattle. But is this something you could see happening? Expanded dugouts, take them out another 10 or 15 feet to get a little bit more room in the dugout, maybe even 20 feet. You know, expand the bullpen out a little bit more to get some spacing. Do you think that's something that we could see?
Well, yeah, I think anything like that's possible. But you hit the nail on the head. They're going to be averse to giving up ticket sales.
Yeah.
So I think it would be a cost-benefit analysis, and I don't see an overt benefit right off the top of my head, except for the, health risks. But that has nothing to do with dollars.
Well, I mean, it could.
Yeah, it could.
Because if you've got guys who can't play because they're sick, and you're missing games because guys are sick, that could cause problems.
Yeah.
And, like we said, the reason that we saw players in the stands was, part of the reason we saw that was because there were no fans in the stands. So I wonder if they're like, okay, we need to have more seating for the players in the dugouts. We can't have everybody crammed in there, but we do want fans in the stands to some degree. So expand that out a little bit. We're not going 100% capacity right now. So we're not really missing out on those seats anyway. Go 20 to 30% capacity, whatever, of our initial volume, and then expand that dugout a little bit more, and we don't take that into consideration. Right? That way we have more room for the players. We still have plenty of room for the fans, and it all works out.
It is a great opportunity to recalibrate a bunch of things. So You're right. Like, if they're going to do it, now's the perfect time, because then when fans do get back into the stadiums, we won't even remember.
Yeah. And honestly, you probably won't even notice it. Even if they take them out 15, 20 feet, I don't think you would really notice it, because that's not something most people see,
Yeah, I agree. Yep.
So that was
let's go into roster limits.
About.
Yeah, no, it's a really interesting thought, and you're right. They do change. Stadiums change it constantly, all the time. But so that's a perfect segue into roster limits. We went from a 25-man roster to a 26 through the regular season, with a maximum number of 13 pitchers. To me, that was a great idea. I don't see any flaws there. It doesn't bother me in any way. It gave more guys opportunities. It gave managers more tools to use, even though they were hamstrung by another rule like we just talked about. But to me, if this rule stayed, it wouldn't bother me either. Like, I have no beef with expanded rosters and keeping it this way forever. What do you think?
So I think this was going to be a rule anyway this year, the 26-man roster. The fact that it was expanded to 30 was a COVID rule, and then they dropped it down to 28, and they ended up keeping it there this year. But I like the extra player. It actually, with excuse me, it breaks down the roster really easily. You've got half the guys on the roster are pitchers, and then you've got 9 position players, an extra catcher, and a couple utility guys. So it makes it really easy.
I feel like to me, the utility guy is what happens here, right? You end up with another guy who can play small ball. Yeah. Pinch run, jog a bunt, whatever, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And you need those guys. In fact, this reminds me, looking at this actually reminded me, this is like we should have brought this up last segment, but I'd like to bring it now since we're talking about the utility guys. Christopher Negrone said, why is there not a Gold Glove award for the utility guys? He's like, these guys are out there. He's like, we go out there. We were playing potential to play 9 positions in one game. Why is there not a Gold Glove award specifically for utility guys? I thought it was interesting. The best utility player in the league. And, it's the utility guy kind of has the, I don't know if it's like the label or misnomer or whatever, the jack of all trades, master of none, right?
Yeah. Yes.
That they're not the best guy at the position, or else they'd be stuck in one position. But the fact that they can play, because there are some guys who they'll go out there, they'll catch, they'll play outfield, they'll play second base in one game.
Yeah.
Do you think that's something they could do? Utility, Gold Glove for the utility guy?
Yeah. Why would they not? I've never heard that idea presented, but it makes perfect sense to me, and they ought to call it the Ben Zobrist Award.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I totally agree. It's like, why not? They should. You've got in the NBA, you've got 6th Man of the Year award. Why not have the utility player of the year award or Gold Glove for utility player? So
that's a terrific idea. That really is.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, I kind of took a little bit of a left turn there. But roster limits and utility players, great idea. Keep it with 26 forever.
Bingo.
Because
last one.
It's a great way to go.
Last one. We got to
talk
talk about
before we go into this, because I think we're going
DH.
to take some time on it.
Oh, man. Fine.
All right, let's take a break. When we get back, we're going to talk about the universal DH.
No matter which ballpark you're at, you want to rep your team. Now you can with 9+ Us. Welcome to the Big City Series. With every design available in your team's colors, you can fit in with the home crowd or stand out on the road. Either way, we have the colors you crave. Shop the Big City Series and find designs that rep your favorite baseball podcast, cheer from the cheap seats, and much more. Shop the Big City Series only at 9plusus.com.
Welcome back, baseball family. I wanted to take a short break because I feel like this is a subject that we could actually spend quite a bit of time on, and I might need to take some time to like slide the soapbox right underneath Brig here real quick. But we're gonna talk about the universal DH.
Let me step up on it. Okay, I'm in a good position.
Okay, Brig, let us know how you feel about the universal DH.
Well, seeing as how this is a family-friendly environment, how do I word this? I will concede that it made sense given the sprint season.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Look. Okay. Leave me alone. It made sense. And, okay, hold on. Okay, I'm going to concede another point.
Uh-oh.
Shh, Brad. It probably, just let it happen. It probably did improve pitching.
Okay.
Honestly. I think it did. I wonder... So I've been thinking a lot about Clayton Kershaw.
Mm-hmm.
And how he never had to get out to the plate. not one time.
Yeah.
That's different. And he had a better season. Now there's a lot of other reasons that we could say he had a better season for XYZ thing, but this is also on that list.
Yeah.
So those are 2 points I'm willing to concede. However, you don't mess with tradition. And to me, the National League and the American League split between the singular rule of designated hitter is the reason the leagues were formed like the way they were in the first place. Right? The American League said, we're going to do it. We're going to compete directly with the National League, and we are going to, our pitchers don't have to step up to the plate and hit the ball. They don't have to. That's what's going to draw players. That's what's going to draw a crowd. We think it'll be more dynamic. And, oh, by the way, stick up our noses at those National League bums over there. That's where it all came from. And it's been that way forever. And I like it. I like it that way. I like the dichotomy. I like that during the World Series, you have to change the way you play the game. I like the tradition of it. I like that it's hard. I like the standout pitchers who do get up there and take a hack at it, like John Lester, when he's like, you know what, I'll come out there, no big deal. Mm-hmm. And they like it, and it's this thing, and it's this special thing, right? When Jake Arrieta hits, because they got no position players left, and he came out of the bullpen that one time for that, what was that, 18-inning thing against the Yankees a couple of years ago?
Oh, yeah.
He came out to pinch hit, and he did. And I was like, see? No, I think that it removes an opportunity for magic and mystique and wonder and stuff like that. And I know that it's easy to tear that down with all the really pragmatic things, but you can't get too pragmatic. You can't. You get hamstrung by pragmatism and practicality. Okay. So that's it.
So first things first.
I probably will stay here atop my soapbox.
Okay, first things first. I want to give you a little bit of a history lesson to start.
No.
The American League, initially the American Association, founded in 1881, has always been a more progressive league than the National League. Okay?
Yeah.
Two of the things that the American League wanted to do that they did not do in the National League were play games on Sundays and sell beer at the ballpark. That's why the American League was formed.
Just those two things?
Yeah. Yeah, that was their two things that they figured they could compete with the National League with. So,
right, but the designated hitter rules is buried in that history as well.
Well, it didn't come around until later. You know, that because the American League has always been more liberal and more progressive, that's why it went to the National League.
What do you mean that's why it went to the National League?
Sorry, that's why it went to I meant American League. Because it wasn't until 1973 that they adapted the DH.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it went way back.
No. So, I mean, it's not like a Barney Stinson rant where it's since the dawn of time, Ted. It's not one of those.
Listen, that's how it felt, okay?
But I will say this,
I swear
though.
Ken Burns told me that it goes back that far.
I just love, like,
I'll have to go back and watch that just wonderful documentary again.
There you go.
I guess.
That's one of my favorite things from How I Met Your Mother, though. Anytime Barney's trying to get Ted to do something, since the dawn of time, Ted, that's how he starts everything. But anyways, no.
Well, thanks for putting me in my place in public, Brad. I feel so much better.
Brig, I have a responsibility, okay? I take it very seriously, and I'm going to do it every time.
You know what's cool, though? What's cool, though, is that this time you didn't offend any of the audience and only me. And that's awesome. He said, usually, Blackjack Brad comes in. No, I'm just teasing you. No, it's great. I really did believe it was all the way back. I didn't know it was that early.
So, anyway, but cool. I will say this real quick against the DH is that, and I'm a fan of the DH. I like it, but I do also appreciate that it forces pitchers to be baseball players, right?
Yep. Yes.
That, like, okay, yeah, you can throw the ball really hard and you can strike guys out, or you can throw a wicked curveball and strike guys out, but can you hit that stuff yourself?
Right.
You know, like I feel like it brings that element to the game. But on the other hand, hitting is really hard, and it takes a lot of work and a lot of maintenance to be able to do it. And only getting game reps once a week is not enough for the vast majority of pitchers, as we've seen, to be proficient at it.
Sure. Yes.
So that's like the big thing that I don't like about it is that it creates an automatic like gap between the American League and National League. And like you said, that's and like from the beginning, that the American League was created to compete with the National League as far as ticket sales and things. So, it's that divide has always been there, but unify the league, that you don't have the NFL, you don't have the AFC and the NFC when they play each other. Like, okay, well, we've got to decide whose quarterback is going to go play defense, whose quarterback is going to go play defensive back for 4 downs. You don't have that.
Yeah.
You don't have to decide that, and it's vastly different. I understand that there aren't guys who play 2 ways like ever in the NFL, but that's kind of what it feels like to me, having the NL one way, the AL one the other way, because it feels so archaic and so old to have one league divided that strictly. And the other thing that I feel like is like the Phillies signed Bryce Harper to that 13-year deal, and that's their own fault. Like that's their own business. Like if you want to do that, that's fine. But Bryce Harper in 7 years is not going to be an outfielder. With the way he plays, he's going to be a defensive liability. They're going to have to move him to first base probably.
Right.
That's if he's still hitting.
Yep.
That they're going to want to trade him to an American League team so he can continue the end of his career, so he can extend his career to the end of that contract. That, if the Phillies don't win a World Series in 3 years, that's probably what's going to happen. Is they're going to be like, well, we got to get out of this albatross so we can start over, but we've got to trade him to an American League team because he's got to be DH in a few years. Marcell Ozuna coming to the Braves this year, I don't know for sure when they signed him, but I don't know if they ever had any intention of him playing outfield for them. If it was strictly, let's bring him on because he's a bat, we're going to have the universal DH this year, he's going to be our DH and he's going to dominate the position, and he's going to help us get to the playoffs and help us make a run. And he did. I mean, he won a Silver Slugger award for them because he was so good at his spot in the lineup, just hitting the ball. Nelson Cruz would be out of the league by now if it wasn't for the DH. Edgar Martinez, who the award is named after, would have been out of the league. Gosh, he definitely wouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. He barely made it in the Hall of Fame as it is. Yeah. So it extends guys' careers. Big Papi extended his career because he was a defensive liability at first base.
For sure. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Red Sox fans, but I think we all know it's true.
It's true. But it's hard to... I'm a Yankees fan, and that's hard to accept for me. Because his bigness is amazing. So...
Yes. And that's a personality we wouldn't have had in the league. I mean, forget hitting and ability aside, his personality was second to none. His personality was bigger than the game.
It was. And that's what baseball needs. And so you're right. Affording players these opportunities to be that way is an argument. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And that's always been my argument for why if they go a universal rule with the DH, forget universal DH or universal, like I guess you could say abolishment of the DH, it's going to go universal DH because you're creating...
between the two,
You're creating 15 more jobs in the National League, which they did this year, and it was excellent. It was great.
Was it
because
excellent?
Well, as far as creating another position, And I feel like, and this was actually brought up on the group when we talked about, I think it was I think somebody posted about the Silver Sluggers and Marcell Ozuna was brought up. And actually a friend of mine, Marshall Jensen, brought up, he said, it brings balance between the National League and the American League with free agents. And that's been one of my arguments forever too. I totally agree with him on that. That, that Nelson Cruz is a guy, he's still hitting the ball 1,000 miles at 39, 40 years old, whatever he is, but he would never consider going to the National League because they didn't have the DH. That's a bat that every one of those teams is missing out on.
Yeah, I can see that. And here, okay, so let's barter. All right. All right. We'll trade it up. You can have the universal DH. If I can have two expansion teams and a revenue share program.
Let's do it.
Or a salary cap. Or Both.
I think revenue sharing comes along with salary cap.
Yeah, I think so.
Because there's going to be a certain split with that. But no, I mean, if that's what it takes to get universal DH, I mean, those are all things I want anyway. You know.
I know. I'm just. There are things I want anyway.
Brig. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. I'm here for you, Brad. I'm just trying. You came at me so hard earlier that I just decided I needed to kind of. This was a hug, is what it was.
I appreciate that. Really, an olive branch of peace, in the words of Jim Bowers on Little Big League.
Yep.
We accept this olive branch of peace. Love it.
Oh, man.
But no, like I said, I understand the argument the other way too. You know, like you said, tradition. You don't mess with tradition, and I don't know. It's make guys play the game. Right?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Listen, I will agree and say, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I didn't feel the disruption this season like I thought I would.
Yeah. The fact that it was really fast was kind of weird. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, once it got rolling, it just felt like it was with the calendar, because it was. It wasn't like the NBA, you know, where you got basketball in August, which felt really weird.
Right. Yeah.
It was okay. We're 2 weeks into the season. We're in August. This is fine. September pennant races. That's cool.
Fine. It's fine.
Playoffs are October is normal. So yeah, no, it didn't feel as disrupted as I thought it was. The doublehead, like I said, the biggest thing for me, like I think that had to have been it was the doubleheaders. That was the biggest thing that threw me off for the whole entire season.
Yeah. Well, and people kept texting and messaging me like, what's going on? Can you explain this? Why is it only 7?
Yeah.
All season long. It's sometimes the same people.
I could see that.
It was great.
That's funny. Well, baseball family, let us know what you think about these rules. Are there any rules that you want to see go away forever? Are there some that you would like to see MLB adapt? I mean, do you want to see universal DH? Do you want to see 7-inning doubleheaders for the rest of time? I don't, but maybe you do. Whatever, that's cool.
Do. That's okay.
Let us know. You can subscribe, or you can let us know on YouTube. You can comment. You can also send us an email in the mailbag. You can also comment on the Facebook group. Join the 9+ Us VIPs Facebook group. Just search 9+ Us VIPs. Ask to join. We will let you in for free, not a pay to play. So come and join the community and let us know what you think about these things.
Also, don't forget to jump on the shop at 9plusus.com. It's NINEPLUSUS.com. That's where you can get all the sweet merch that we wear on the show, and also discount codes and exclusive releases and things like that go out to our 9+ Us VIP group on Facebook. And that's it. So 9plusus.com. We're getting close to Christmas. Got something exciting in the works for Christmas.
Yeah, we do.
We should probably release that like right away, huh?
Yeah, we probably should.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
so
probably a good idea.
time to get there for the Christmas season. But baseball family, we've enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, rate, and review. Leave us a comment if you can. Like, leave us a review somewhere. Let us know what you think. We're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants based on numbers that we see, based on what we think you guys like. But like I said, if there's something you specifically want to hear about, send us an email in the mailbag. Drop it in the reviews on Apple Podcasts or something. I don't know, whatever. Let us know. We'll see it, and we'll reach out and do your topics for you. But baseball family, it's been
really
fun.
Exciting stuff coming.
We do. We have lots of exciting stuff coming, and I cannot wait. And that's a tease. Baseball family, we'll catch you next week.